Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be a bit of a declutter. I'm not going to show you like going through my drawers or whatever because I kind of already did that process. It's something that I don't do all at once. It takes time and then I go away from my drawers, I think about some things and then I come back and take things out, put things back. It's a whole process. So I have actually got the items in my empties box in front of me and I'm filming this video before my empties video goes up, but in that video I said let me know if you want to declutter. So this will probably go up anyway because I filmed it and I don't want to film something and then not put it up, but yes, just know that this is that declutter that I was talking about in that video. A lot of this is eyeshadows, I'm gonna be honest, but it was a long time coming, definitely a long time coming. So I have in here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12 eyeshadow palettes. I can't even hold them all, and 2 singles. Now, I'm gonna go through this one by one, but first of all, let me just say some of these have shades depotted. Like for example, this NARS Duo is empty, and that's because I took the eyeshadows from inside here and have put them into a Z palette, and I was unsure. I knew I wanted to put something from my Vice 4 before I decluttered that. Spoilers, my Vice 4 is in here, but I was like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to depot this without breaking the palette, breaking the eyeshadows, just causing an absolute mess and ended up throwing the whole thing away. And then Erin said, why don't you just repress them, you know, scrape them out and repress them. So that basically opened up a whole world for me and I ended up decluttering 12 eyeshadow palettes. But this is the first one. This is the NARS Duo in Melusine, I think is how you pronounce that. No idea, to be honest. Erin gave this to me. I really enjoy the shades in here, which is why I rescued them out of here, but this packaging is just awful and it picks up every single little bit of dust. I know Erin loves the NARS packaging, I do not. The next one is the Urban Decay Naked 2. This was the cool toned version, and as you can see I picked out the 2 lighter shades that I can use for setting my eyelid primer with, and the really dark shade which I can use for my outer V. These 3 mid-tone cool toned browns in the middle, I do not need any more of these in my collection. I do not feel inspired by looking at this palette, and to be honest, if I'm going to reach for a mid-tone brown, I'm not going to reach for this. I'm going to reach for something that I know has a nicer mid-tone brown in, so that's why this one is going. This one's a whole palette. This is the Revolution Redemption palette, Mermaids vs Unicorns. Since I got this in 2018, I have not touched it once. I'm just not drawn to it. Blues are okay, but if I'm gonna pick a blue, I'll pick a different blue from a different palette. The greens are pretending to be turquoise. They're not actual greens. If I want a green, I'll pick a green. If I want a turquoise, I have better turquoises in my collection, so that's why this one is going. Another full palette is the Revolution, sorry, this is I Heart Makeup. It's now called I Heart Revolution. Chocolate and Peaches palette. This is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette dupe. I kept this for years and years thinking that when I finished my Too Faced palette, I'm gonna reach for this. Never did. Haven't even finished the Too Faced one. So I'm just gonna pass this on to somebody who can use it. It is a little bit old, but they can try it and see how they feel. The next palette is one of Erin's. This is the Narcissist L'Amour palette. I didn't reach for this the whole time I had it. The only reason I was keeping it was for the blue inside, which I took out, which Erin doesn't mind because the only reason she wasn't reaching for it was because of the blue in it. So it kind of works out. I'm giving this back to her so that she can enjoy the shades again. She said that her sister may also be interested in this, so that is going back to her. Some other palettes that are going back to Erin are these. These are the Max Factor Masterpiece palettes, and I have Cappuccino Nudes and Golden Nudes. These eyeshadows are actually really, really good, but I never reach for them. Never reach for them. And I feel like it never really belonged to me, like it was passed on from Erin, and if she's gonna declutter something to me, I want her to feel like she's decluttering stuff to me that I'm gonna use. So these are also going back to her so she can pass them on to someone else. I have the Revolution Salvation palette in Welcome to the Pleasure Dome. This one I've kind of completely dug out, to be honest. There was a bunch of like dark jewel toned, like grungy jewel tones across the top here. Love those kinds of tones and were unique to my collection, so I kept those, but left the ones that I have dupes for. And I left all of these gradient to black because I have better blacks and better almost blacks. So that one is going. I have another Revolution Salvation palette. These are super old. I don't even know if you can get these anymore. This one is in Run Boy Run, and this one, so far I've only depotted 1 shade, but I am planning on taking a couple more shades out of here before it actually goes. I've not finished my entire depotting process. It was taking forever, so I am taking a break from it right now, but like these 2 here, the pink and the brown, I'm keeping those for sure, and this brown here I'm keeping for sure, and maybe probably the rest will go. Maybe this orange orange here next to the red. But yeah, that's that one. This one I'm not taking anything out of. This is the Revolution Ultra Eyeshadows Mermaids Forever eyeshadow palette. It is the full color palette that they did. This palette was nice in its time, but since then Revolution have done so much better with their eyeshadows, and I feel like I could buy this again in Revolution quite happily, but if I bought it now it would be much better quality. And because this one is getting on a bit, I feel like now is the time to move away from this old formula where it was kind of okay, but now it's like much better, so I'd much rather have newer eyeshadows from them. As I mentioned before, my Vice 4, I will be taking shades out of this as well, but I haven't done that yet. As I said, the depotting process is really long. I love this eyeshadow formula. It's great. The colours, the way they are, I don't reach for them, and I don't reach for a palette this bulky. So what I want to do is take out my favourite shades, like this brown here, amazing. Just incredible. Don't mind the other swatches, it's the top one here. Just amazing. This formula, great. But I don't want these eyeshadows, the Vice 4 is old now, and I don't want the eyeshadows to go bad because they're in my drawer and I just can't be bothered to pull out a huge bulky palette. So again, I'm gonna rescue the shades out that I want and then declutter this. There's one last eyeshadow palette which I'm decluttering, and it is the Sephora Mixology palette. I never reached for this. Honestly, the only times I have reached for this is when they've been in Project Pans, and even then I've not reached for it. This needs to go. I don't even know why I bought this, but this is what it looks like now. I have depotted these 6 shades on the left here and 2 shades from this one here and 1 shade from in the middle. The rest of them are dry, not pigmented, fallout, all kinds of things. I can't be dealing with it. So yeah, that one needs to go also. The 2 singles that I have are Moondust eyeshadows. I love the Moondust formula. These are not going in the bin because I don't use them or hate them. These are going in the bin because they are old. And by old, I mean this year, they will be 5 years old. Some people use eyeshadows older than that, and to be honest, if it was something else, then I might use eyeshadows older than that. But these particular ones is a black and a white. I'm not gonna reach for this, or hardly ever. Like, unless I do a smoky eye, which I do once maybe every 5 years. Which is why I actually bought these eyeshadows, was to do a smoky eye look, and it was for Halloween. That tells you how much I use blacks and whites, but they need to go. There's no point in them taking up room in my collection for 5 years if I'm never going to use them. I have other blacks and I have other whites that I can use instead. And to be honest, the white is like super patchy now. But yeah, that's what those two look like. They're just gonna go. I love them, but they have to go. Another Urban Decay item that has to go is the Afterglow 8 Hour Blush in Quickie. This is beautiful. It's insane, but it's beautiful. But I never reach for it because I don't normally tend to go for these bubblegum pink type looks, and it just doesn't sit right with my makeup. And this I bought with the Moondust eyeshadows, so this again is 5 years old. I got the highlighters kind of around the same time, maybe like half a year later, and the highlighters I use, like I almost have pan on sin. I have that much of a dip on it. This I've used maybe once, maybe twice at a stretch in the whole 5 years that I've had it, so I know that it's time for me to move on from this blush. I have other blushes in here. I have the Avon Face Pearls this is in the shade Cool. It's just like a, I'll show you without trying to spill it everywhere. It's like a pearly type blush in like a cool toned pink shade. I don't use these, but my friend does, so these are going to her. Another thing that I might pass on to her, but I might pass on to another friend of mine, is this. This is the Revolution Chocolate Strawberry Blush Palette. This blush and this bronzer are way too dark for my skin tone. I don't know what I was thinking keeping a hold of this, to be honest. There's no way I would get away with using either of these. And my friend who uses the Avon Face Pearls, her skin tone it's deeper than mine. It's a lot deeper than mine, but I think it's light enough that she could use this bronzer and this blush. She's not like super dark skin, so I will be passing this on to her. It's brand new. She can use it. If she doesn't want to use it, she can pass it on to somebody who will use it. I have the L'Oreal Paris Color Riche La Palette Extravaganza. This I've used once. Well, actually I've used more than once because I fit pan on this bottom shade here. It was in a Project Pan, but since I fit pan on it maybe like 2 years ago, I've not touched it. And I'm never going to reach for lipstick in this form, to be honest. This was a gift from Andrew's mum. I don't know if you remember or if you're new on my channel, but Andrew was my ex-fiance and I've not been with him for over 3 years or so, something now. So this is like ridiculous old. So yeah, I'm just gonna toss this. I have some potted things here. I have an EOS lip balm that's covered in eyeshadow. This is almost brand new, but it doesn't do anything for my lips, and to be honest, I hate this kind of form of lip balm. I'm sorry for you guys who love the EOS lip balms that look like eggs, but I just can't be dealing with them. I have a NYX concealer in the shade Light. I used this a ton and I got a huge dip in it, but I just don't reach for these potted concealers anymore. Like, I don't have as bad acne as I used to, and I find that by using like an almost full coverage foundation plus my Revolution concealer, it does a good enough job that I don't need that anymore. So I mean, I would buy that NYX one again, but that particular one is super old, and if I'm not reaching for it, then it should just go, basically. Another thing that I have here is the Mecca Cosmetics some kind of lip balm. This is beautiful. Like, it's clear, but it's got like a pink to gold shimmer in it, so it looks pink, but it's not actually pink. It's beautiful. We've had this conversation before. I cannot stand putting my fingers into lip balms. The feeling of it, the thought of having my nail like get stuck, I can't do it. I can't do it. And this is another one that I'm tossing out for the exact same reason. This is just a little thing from like Superdrug, and it is in the scent. It is a lip gloss. It's in the scent cinnamon, I believe. It tastes like cinnamon. Smells amazing. Kind of pigmented. It's really nice, but I'm not putting my finger in here. I'm sorry, I'm just not. I have a lip liner here that was decluttered to me from Erin. This one I'm not going to use, to be honest. It's just the wrong tone for me. And I never reach for this kind of tone of lipstick that I would need a liner for it. It's kind of too warm for me. So I'm just going to toss this because I'm not sure Erin wants this back. Like the eyeshadows she said she wanted back. I knew she would want them back, so I messaged her about that. Haven't told her about this. Erin, if you want this back, please let me know and I will keep it. Now, something that might be going to Erin, she needs to decide if she wants it or not. This is brand new. This is the NYX Strobe of Genius highlighting palette. She suddenly has had a huge thing with face products, and I think that this would suit her better than it suits me. I can't use a lot of the shades in here. This was a gift and I didn't want to be rude and say, hey, I can't use half the shades in here, so I just kept it. But yes, it's not going to suit me in any way, shape or form, but she might find that she likes some of the shades in here, so she can decide if she wants that or not. There's so much stuff in here that I'm like getting confused over what I've mentioned and what I've not mentioned. Another thing I'm decluttering is this. This was kindly gifted to me from Jessica from, oh, what's the channel's name? Beauty Playground, I think is her channel name. She gave this to me. I kind of won it in a giveaway, but like I have bronzers that are going bad in my collection and I never reach for this. It is huge. It is going to take forever to use up, and it's probably ever so slightly dark for my skin tone. So I'm getting rid of this. I'm not sure about the age of this, so I don't feel comfortable passing it on to anyone else because I've had it for a couple of years. If she had it for a couple of years, then it's probably getting on a bit now. It still smells good. It kind of smells like perfume, but yeah, I'm probably a little bit uncomfortable passing that on to somebody else. I have the Merry Illuminizer highlighter. This is brand new. I've swatched it, never used it. Erin can have this. That's what's happening with that one. I have another lip balm here. It's in the potted form. This is the Reese's Cup lip balm. Again, not doing it. I have two MAC eyeshadows here. I have the Extra Dimension eyeshadow in Stylishly Merry. This fell out, so ended up doing the repotting thing. And because I was depotting that one, I depotted this one as well. This is the Dazzle shadow in Try Me On. That's cleaned out as well. I might keep the packaging for that. Not that I have anything that I take back to MAC, or do I want to use MAC cosmetics anymore. I'm kind of trying to, from now on, buy cruelty free. I'm not going to say that I'm going full cruelty free, but I'm becoming more aware of the things that I'm buying, so might not buy MAC, might not even send those back. Maybe I'll give them to Erin because I know that she likes MAC and she can use them for her back to MAC. Another thing going to Erin is the NYX Illuminator in the shade Ritualistic. This I used in a project pan, that's why it's got a little bit of a dip in the middle, but I've not used it since then, so she can get some love from the highlighters, seeing as she is becoming a highlighter fan now. Another thing I'm decluttering, and is the last thing I'm decluttering, is the Revolution mascara. It's just the Mascara Revolution. The reason I'm decluttering this is because it's hella messy. I don't know if you can see, this wand is just not built for anyone. This is kind of like it's not a rubbery wand, it's like a hair bristle wand, and when you put it back in here, like all mess gets around in there, it gets messy in the cap, it's messy when you apply it, it's messy on the wand, it's just a absolute mess. I will not be buying this again. Unfortunately, I mean, the other Revolution mascaras that I've tried were kind of okay. Yeah, the wand was big, but they weren't this awful. So yeah, sorry Revolution, won't be buying that one again. I might get a different kind again, but definitely not that one. And that's everything that I'm decluttering. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed declutters, please give this video a thumbs up. It does really help my channel and I appreciate all the support that you provide me. Take care guys, and I will see you very soon. Bye!